Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking in on the market rundown. So we had a nicely timed little news blip come out today in terms of potentially saying that Trump might delay the tariffs in the auto industry. That led to a big turnaround and spike in bullish momentum. And let's look on the 5-minute time frame and see if you can pick out where did that tweet come out this morning. Pretty obvious, things changed very quickly and we saw a huge move and the bull run lasted hours from that point. So where we stand is we are seeing a significant bounce on the daily time frame. At this point, to drop back down to a lower low on the daily chart, we need another 2% drop. That can certainly happen. The bulls are not out of the woods yet. They still have more proving to do. We are in a weekly uptrend. That is still the case. We have a weekly bullish candlestick forming, trying to form a higher low, but we're not going to be confident that weekly higher low has formed until we change the daily trend. I do not consider this little higher low and continuation move to be a trend change. I consider this the same move, and the line in the sand for me is the resistance level at 288.94. Anything under that is just a lower high on the daily time frame. So for the bulls to prove themselves to me, I am going to look for a lower high compared to that level, a pullback on the daily chart to form a higher low, and then a follow-through move to break to a higher high and confirm the daily trend change. It's been nice buying of the dip, and again, as I've pointed out in previous videos, you look at this pullback on the daily time frame, and it's lasted at this point, 9 days or so? And now we are seeing 7 out of those 9 days have been controlled by the bulls. We've had lower opens often, but the bulls buy those dips. We've had 2 days on this pullback, and if you include the all-time high day, 3 days on this pullback controlled by bears. So that's notable to me, and I'm still watching for the bulls to keep control as long as we have the weekly uptrend. Drop down below 280, and that sentiment will certainly shift. IWM on the daily time frame is still a potential bear flag. This bounce is weak. We don't have much follow through, and the line in the sand here is up at 156.83. Bulls will have to break that level to change the trend. Well, not change the trend, to break the lower highs. But again, same thing. If we see a bull move, we can't break 156.83. We have to hold the low of 151.16 and then see that trend change. Looking at the weekly chart for IWM, I still consider this an uptrend, but essentially over the last couple of months, IWM has not had a significant range, and IWM has not played a major role in what we've been seeing in market conditions, in my opinion. QQQ, that was the reason for the strength today. The tech sector showed us first thing, and I've talked about in recent videos how in the morning, and I'm watching the sectors, and we're getting clues as to which direction to be looking on the day. Today was the kind of scenario where we started with a gap down open in the financial sector. So we started the morning, once the bell rang, we said, okay, if SPY is going to see weakness today, we're going to have to see QQQ break the low of yesterday like XLF already did. And you can see the low of the day is the open for the QQQ bulls, and they bought literally right when the bell rang and saw 20 minutes of upside. So that is a line in the sand where I can say to myself, if QQQ is not going to break the low of yesterday, the tech sector is not going to drop to lower lows, and SPY could stay red on the day, but it's not going to be significant weakness, because to see significant weakness in the market, we have to see both the financial and the tech sector going down. So if the bulls are holding that line in the sand and keeping that support, that tells me not to expect a whole lot of weakness on the day. And then we had that news come out, turn things around even further, and now the line in the sand for QQQ, anything under 185.89 is just a lower high on the daily chart. Have to top out, form a higher low compared to 178.06, and then change the daily trend. And we're still in a weekly uptrend here on QQQ as well. Financial sector, there's our drop to the lower lows. So I'm looking at the lower high here of 27.53. We have a new lower high of 27.12. XLF is very likely to form a weekly higher low. The bulls have a ton of space to work with, but we need that daily trend change before we're confident, and the fact that we dropped to a lower low decreases the odds of that trend change happening in the near-term future. And looking at it on the hourly chart, bulls need a higher low and higher high. Look how similar yesterday and today are. Just a different starting point. Bull all morning, Profit taking in the afternoon with a dump at the end of the day. Bull all morning. Profit taking at the end of the day. High bear volume. Not as much of a dump today, but it's pretty much a mirror image. And both tops were hit at noon, and both afternoons saw consolidation. So the question is, can we change that trend tomorrow with an hourly higher low and higher high? Biotech sector also still weak, also a bear flag. Anything under 87.87 is just a lower high on the daily chart. Bulls have a lot of proving to do to change the daily trend. The healthcare sector also dropped to a lower low and saw no follow through. So now this is multiple times. 87.01 was our low. We broke it by 11 cents and saw no follow through. And now we've broken it by 17 cents and seen no follow through. So that has us looking for the potential of the bulls to shift the momentum in their favor. And I'm looking at resistance of 88.29. And then we're looking up at 89.14 after that. Keeping in mind the broader, longer term pattern that is more important for me in this sector, which is the second largest holding of SPY, is our high, low, lower high, scouting for a higher low. We don't have enough conviction that it has formed yet. If the bulls can get up into the 89s, we'll say our higher low is set, and we'll watch for this range to continue tightening into the end of May. Volatility index tightening up. High, low, lower high, heading down to key support. It's that equilibrium, and if SPY pulls back tomorrow, we will stay in this equilibrium, most likely. 1560 is that key support. That's a potential bottom fishing play level to be watching, depending on how tomorrow pre-market is shaping up. If we bounce, we'll look for this range to continue to tighten likely into next week, and if we break that level, that's a daily lower high and lower low, and the volatility fade will be back on. Oil, bullish reaction to the inventory report today. Still battling these exponential resistances and still in this range that we've been within for the last 9 days, but the bulls now are a bit more comfortable. 60 is the must-hold support level, and our key resistance is 63.32. And where we stand right now, we are $1.20 away from a bull break, and we are over $2 from a bear break. So the bulls have the slight edge. The question is, can they keep this up? We have a 4-hour higher low and higher high. Can we break 63.31? Because if we can, the weekly higher low will clearly be established, and the bulls will try and make their way back up to the recent high, and SPY bulls are looking for their weekly higher low to be established as well, so that would have implications on the market as a whole. Natural gas pulling back, anything on the daily above 249 keeps a higher low intact. And what I'd like to see happen, if I could choose ideally, I want to see a trend change on the weekly. I want to see a higher low on the daily compared to 2492. Let's draw it out. I want to see a lower high compared to 265, a lower low, losing the daily uptrend. I want to see the bulls hold 244 and then shift that momentum back in their favor, because what that would show up as on a weekly time frame, aside from a terrible squiggly line, it would show up as a little higher low and then a higher high. I need to see a weekly trend change before I'm confident doing anything bullish in natural gas. And if we can do it in a tight range and change that trend without the bulls getting too extended once that signal occurs, that would be the best opportunity for the bulls in my opinion. But where we stand right now, we still have the daily uptrend. Bulls are going to continue trying to march towards 272. And if we lose the daily uptrend, we have to zoom back out to the weekly, because it will just be a weekly lower high being set. So all in all, again, constant reminders that this market is so very subject to tweets and headlines and bots reacting to this information. It's probably one of the most news-sensitive situations I've ever been in as a trader for the broader market as a whole, and that means there's a lot of risk. There's a lot of reward as well, but I am definitely tightening up and trading less in this environment. I'm certainly respecting stop levels, because that news can change things on a dime, and patiently waiting for a bit more of a stable environment. Traders definitely love volatility, but we love volatility with, clear technical breaks, not volatility that's resulting from a tweet at a random time during the day that has bots instantly react to it. So we'll continue to monitor. We'll check back in tomorrow, see if this bounce can continue to follow through. And again, what I'm looking for is bearish weakness and bearish volume during regular trading, and the bears aren't proving a whole lot to me. They have the price momentum in their favor, absolutely, but as far as what's gone on during the trading day, I'm shocked at how much downside we've seen with how little bear action during actual trading days we've seen in the process. Thanks again, do some good things. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.